After this, Jesus, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the Scriptures might be fulfilled, saith, I thirst. I thirst. Humanity in the midst of divinity. Of this statement, Jesus expressed a need so human that anyone could have said it, I thirst. And there is nothing more agonizing, I don't guess, than being so thirsty you just can't hardly stand it. And I've been in that situation when I was in the Far East. We couldn't get to water. We couldn't get to anything. And it's one of the most awful feelings in the world. Your mouth gets dry, your lips crack, and you just stand there. It wasn't because there wasn't water, it was because the truck couldn't bring water to us. And so I know what he's talking about there. Of all the needs of the human body, water is one of the most basic. More than 60% of the human body is water. As we become dehydrated, our blood vessels and other cells literally begin to dry up. By the time Jesus spoke these words from the cross, he had already been hanging there for more than 6 hours. And his body was becoming parched. Foreshadowing this moment, go with me to Psalms 22:15. My strength has dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue cleaveth to my jaws, and thou hast brought me into the dust of the death. A bruised, beaten man, nailed to a cross and murmuring through cracked lips, I thirst, is not what most of us picture when we think of God, but these details remind us of a great truth. At the center of the Christian faith is not a remote and distinct God who lives beyond human pain. He is with us. And you know, you think about it. He is with us. He is with us. He's with those who are in hell. He's with those who are in the mountains and the war-torn parts of whatever the situation may be. No matter where we are, he is with us. He will never forsake us, never leave us. But these details remind us of a great truth. At the center of the Christian faith is not a remote and distant God who lives beyond human pain. At the core of our faith is a person who is not only fully and divine, but is also fully human. Indeed, human enough to be thirsty. Go with me to John 1:4. I thirst. These words remind us that the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. And that is my lesson for tonight. It's short. I thought it would last a little longer than that. It's short, but you get out a little bit early. And I pray that the things I've said here tonight would be of benefit to you. Does anyone have anything they want to say?
I'd like to say something. Yes. Today's sermon about baptism. When I was first baptized, it was in the Episcopal Church. and we had water poured over our head. Children back there. And years later, we moved to Effingham County. My youngest daughter started going to Ephesus Church. And she joined the church and had to be baptized, immersed. I was so much against that, you would not believe it. I said, you have been baptized. She said, no, Mama, I haven't. We've got to be immersed. And I said, I don't believe that. And I was so adamant about it till they went, her and her husband and my grandson, they went, when they were baptized, they didn't let me know.
Oh.
I was just that against it. Because
Covert immersion.
I have been baptized. But then, years later, and I went to a Bethmore conference, and I know a lot of people know that. My life turned totally around. The first thing I wanted to do was be baptized. Immersed.
Someone called Gene and I just yesterday, I believe it was, and they wanted to know the difference between sprinkling and baptism. And I said, well, look at it this way. And I mentioned it this morning. Look at it this way. In the Bible it says, when baptized, Jesus came straightway up out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to me, it can't get any plainer than that.
Right.
And I named these high officials and all that in the Roman Catholic Ravenna that were very knowledgeable of baptism and sprinkling, and all of them said complete immersion. And that's why I say now we've got friends. Gene worked for a man for years, and one day he told her, he said he knew how I felt, and they sprinkled. And he told Gene, he said, I'm going to have to get a hold of Durwood and talk to him about this sprinkling and baptism. And she said, Brother so-and-so, you better leave him alone.
Don't want to go there.
Because you ain't going to change him. And he's not going to try to change you. So. But that's the way I look at it. I mean, why would you go down into the water to have a dipper of water poured on top of your head?
Well, you're not down in the water. You're in a font. You know, you just lay these cities.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I've never seen them sprinkle.
We did. But, you know, to me, it was always the act. It wasn't whether you were immersed or whether, you know, if you were a Christian, you know, it doesn't matter how you were baptized. You were baptized. It was the act.
I know they used to dip them in the creek up at Upper Loxer Creek.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and it didn't matter if it was Christmas or
Fourth of
December
July.
or whatever situation. J. Walter Hendricks was going to put you under. He was going to make sure you was baptized. He didn't care how cold it was. And then they come along. Huh?
One thing is that when you're immersed, when your body goes totally under, head to toe, you're supposed to feel like the new man, the new person.
That's the idea.
If you just do your whole body, to me, I mean, can you come up and be a completely different, you know? I don't know. They have their reasons, and
Well, that's what I said
it
this
just
morning.
makes sense to me.
It has been a battle for the ages, you know.
I had to be baptized the second time. You think I wasn't against it? I was very ticked off. But I learned to live with it.
Yeah, Tom Deal made her life pretty miserable there for a while.
I learned to live with it. Of course, now we don't do that, you know. If you've been baptized, then you don't have to be rebaptized. At that time, you did.
I was baptized twice.
You did. Yeah.
I pray that what I've said tonight would be of benefit to you.
Absolutely.
Is there anything before we're dismissed?
Emma and I were baptized in February.
Oh.
Where you had to lift up the floor of the pulpit
Sardis Springfield Baptist Church.
in Savannah. And
Who
it
baptized
was
you?
ice
You
cold.
mean there wasn't a little heater under
No,
there?
sir, there's no heat.
Who baptized you, Ann?
Brother Chandler, because we didn't have one at Faith at that time.
Our granddaughter came back whenever she's going to be baptized the second time.
to invite us to her baptism. And so she sat down, she said, Grandmama, she says, I want to invite you to my baptism. She said, because I joined the church when I was 7. She says, I felt like I was real young, and I want to be baptized again. I said, well, Haley, it doesn't matter to me how many times you baptize.
You're right. When we were children, we pretended to baptize each other. And
Baptized a lot, didn't we?
That's right.
Yep. The cats and the dogs.
Yeah, really.
That's baptized, that was fun.
I'm afraid if I had to be baptized in a river somewhere, I don't know if I'd have been baptized yet.
Baptized in the river.
We did.
Well, the thing was, like
I've
Ann
been
said,
to them.
used to, there were no such thing as heaters in the baptism.
Thank the Lord for the churches now.
I didn't mind it cold, it was nice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, every winter they run off out here at Tybee and run in that sister,
Crazy stuff.
what's her name sits here?
Vicky.
Sister Vicky goes every year. She runs in that
That is crazy.
ice cold water out there. I mean, okay, y'all, if you'll stand, we'll be dismissed. Father, Lord, we thank you for this day, this beautiful day.